I'm Dr. Grace Ambrose-Zaken. I'm here today to talk about the Toddler Cane, an invention that I've created that I hope will solve the problem that toddlers with visual impairments have in learning to navigate about their space.
The Toddler Cane is the first prototype invented for toddlers with visual impairments to address the very real need of mobility with a visual impairment. Like a long cane, the hands-optional Toddler Cane will locate drop-offs, obstacles, and detect surface changes. But unlike a cane, it does not have to be constantly held by the toddler.
Now that I've explained to you what a toddler cane is, basically a hands-optional mobility device that is worn about the waist and provides tactile feedback about what's in the path, I'd like to make a case for why it's so important.
Observe this little girl walking through her home. She's visually impaired and about 2 years old. Her gait is slow. Her feet are spread wide apart to achieve stability. Her defensive posture comes from experience. She knows that at any moment something could be where her next footfall is, and because she can't see it, she has to feel her way gingerly in order to hope to prevent a catastrophe. Toddlers can be taught to hold long canes. There's plenty of evidence and videos on YouTube.
Simply holding a long cane is not enough. The long cane provides only a small amount of tactile information to the user, the tip on the ground. In order for the user to feel protected, that cane tip needs to reliably communicate what is in front of the next step. Toddlers and preschoolers find it difficult to maintain the long cane in the correct position, and that's developmentally understandable. They benefit from a mobility tool that gives them the 2 points of consistent tactile information that the cane arc can provide the older user.
The following videos will serve to illustrate my point about the difference between holding a cane and using a device that is developmentally appropriate.
Here we see Lily, a 3-year-old with optic nerve hypoplasia. This is her 3rd or 4th lesson with an AMD made out of carbon fiber. She's walked the entire path. Her pace is good. She goes in and out of wide to narrow gait depending on her balance issues. She's not being prompted to go. She's simply walking the path. And here we'll see the AMD locates the grass, but her feet never go off the path. And with a few attempts, she's able to return the entire device to the path. That's a successful AMD use. Then we hand Lily the cane, something she's been using since she was 18 months old. She picks it up in the air and begins walking. The cane goes back to the ground and the one tip shows asphalt, but her feet are still in the grass. She's having difficulty, her base widens, and her gait slows. And then she stops.
Lily has been taught to hold a cane since she was 18 months old, and to continue to walk down the path with the cane would have required multiple verbal and physical prompts, and her mother indicated that often her behavior would deteriorate. She would throw the cane down and refuse to hold it. The next clip is very interesting, as once she's handed back the AMD, her pace and gait don't immediately return to the feeling she had originally. She has to get back into feeling safe after having that brief interlude with the long cane.
So Lily's handed back the AMD and she applauds, which is a wonderful thing to see. Not only does she applaud once, but twice. She's helped back into position, but then we see her pace is still halting, shuffling, and slow. And then she starts to get back to her safe feeling with the AMD.
Keep on coming. This would be nice for the when we go down to Jersey, the boardwalk.
Now, remember you said I have my young son, and if only I didn't have to hold Lily's hand when we went out.
Yes.
And now with
especially
the
when he's in a
AMD,
stroller.
she can just mosey along and follow. You don't have to worry about saying, keep that cane going.
or her staying at my pace too, because I'm a little bit faster than she is, and I do feel bad like I'm yanking her sometimes. Doing a good job, baby.
So here's Logan. He's sighted. He's the brother of Lily. He's a year and 9 months old. We watch the action of the toddler cane as he wears it. He gets caught, but snaps back in front, able to easily go from flooring to carpeting without getting pushed out of his way. It stays in front of him.
The toddler cane is hands optional because very young children are not quite ready to learn how to maintain a grasp, and they benefit from the device always moving in front of them.
The device simply slides up and down. It's elastic around the band, and so with a little effort, you could just pull it down like a pull-up. And the child simply snaps out of it. Here we see the device outside. It's made of carbon fiber, and the 2 rollerball tips allow it to glide fairly easily over all surfaces, and its design keeps the device moving in front of the child at all times. So now they're walking side by side, Lily with her AMD and Logan with his toddler cane.
In this video, I have introduced the toddler cane for toddlers with visual impairments. I've also defined what a developmentally appropriate mobility tool is. And now finally, I just want to define what I mean by safe mobility. Safe mobility. The concept of safe mobility is plain and simple. The walker has sufficient reaction distance and reaction time to changes in the path ahead. For example, elevation changes, like a step or a curb, obstacles in the path, a toy or a fire pit, and then surface changes, such as we saw with the grass and the asphalt on a rail trail path. When someone's visual impairment is such that the vision cannot work like a mobility tool, then a developmentally appropriate mobility tool can be substituted. The toddler cane is the first developmentally appropriate mobility tool for toddlers. The theory behind the toddler cane is simple. Toddlers with visual impairments, just like all toddlers, want to freely roam about their home, and wearing this device would allow them the reaction distance and time to learn about what is in their path and learn how to react to it correctly. I believe that a toddler cane would benefit toddlers with visual impairments much in the same way a long cane benefits school-age children and adults. For more information about the toddler cane, you can contact me, Dr. Grace Ambrose-Zaken, and email me at grace.a.zaken@gmail.com.